fills me up, and it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring me sunlight, and it fills me up, and it starts to shine.
We're now live on the Colecast podcast with your host, Cole Bovey.
What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us this morning. We're getting going a little bit earlier. I actually kind of like it a little bit. Kind of gets the day going. Gave me a little time to sip on some coffee and do what I got to do. Anyway, our plug from our sponsor, the guy that sets this all up and does everything, gets it going. Special thanks to Bruce Hoyer at Next Edge Academy. We got a little bit of boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for adults and kids, Muay Thai, the art of 8 limbs. It's pretty sweet. It's actually a guy hooked me up in martial arts and get me to know Bruce a little bit. And then also you got your good old-fashioned MMA, actually out of everything. MMA is probably the newest. But you can get it all down here. You can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Bruce does a lot of really sweet live YouTube stuff. And actually, he does some online access stuff as well. So if you guys want to check that out, you definitely should. You can get a 14-day free trial. Check him out at www.nextedgeacademy.com. Find more in our gym. It's true. He actually has a pretty sweet online store, too. He's got some pretty sweet swag. I see you got a new Wu-Tang shirt. It's not a Wu-Tang shirt, though.
Yeah, that's a jiu-jitsu shirt. It's a Wu-Tang shirt, but it's meant to be like a grappling shirt, a play on words.
Protect your neck.
Exactly. The Wu-Tang is heavily into the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They do one of the weirdest things I think I've ever seen. They do, you'll do chess and then you'll do a grappling match. And like what I like them to add is boxing. You'll see sometimes in Europe where they'll do a chess match and then a boxing match to determine like the ultimate man, if you will. So like he's both smart and he has bronze and brain, I guess.
It's pretty sweet, though.
Yeah, so kind of the same deal with the Wu-Tang that they'll do that. I think it's chess in the park or something like that I want to say.
And then they'll roll after that.
Yep. Then they compete in that, and the person with the most points between the two wins the day.
Anything new coming up? Sorry, I know you're catching you mid-drink on a coffee.
No, that's fine. I've got to get punched in the face a lot by Tim Johnson tomorrow. He's number 15 in the world heavyweight for the UFC. So I'm going to go up to Fargo and train with him. He's got a fight coming up. So that's that. And then I've got a seminar coming up February 3rd in Sioux City. It's me and 6 other instructors from around the Midwest that are doing a 7-hour long seminar that it's as much as you want to pay to come in, and all the benefits go towards one of the guys in Sioux City. His house burned down, and he didn't have insurance apparently, so they're trying to.
That sucks.
Yeah, so they're trying to raise as much money as they can for that. So we'll do a live stream on that as well. So if people want to watch it from home or whatever, I don't suggest actually being there for the whole 7 hours. I know I will be, but I highly would not suggest
that. That's down in Sioux City.
Yep, Sioux City at One Combat Academy, I think it's called.
Nice. Oh, that's good to know. Do you guys have a group of folks going down there that are carpooling, or?
I'm sure.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Nice. That's good to know. Thanks for letting us know. But the whole reason why we are here today, on top of everything else, is I've had probably 6 or 7 different people say, you got to get Denham on the show, man. Get Denham on the show, dog. Denham. You got to get Denham. Hey, you heard Denham music? Get it Denham going. And at first I associated Denham with pure hatred, only because Corey and those guys down coast to coast will just play your music out while they're torturing us. But once I got into it, like, honestly, I was telling Bruce, because Bruce was asking, who's Denham? Let's hear this guy. And I said, actually, and I didn't mean this in a bad way, is you wouldn't assume that your music was anything that came out of the Sioux Falls area. Like, just because... Yeah, it's really good. It really caught me off guard, and it's the best way you could put it is definitely like an indie hip hop R&B. And when I started checking out your stuff and seeing that you guys do a lot of stuff with live music on top of everything else, or full instrumental, you put together some really good stuff. So I definitely appreciate that. But anyway, I guess you definitely check them out. Denham Music. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for coming. So you just put out a new album here, eh?
Yeah,
recently,
a short little EP. It's like a 7-song EP we put out. It's called Diaries of Distress. It's actually been done for like about a year, so.
Yeah, newish.
Oh, I mean, the project's been done. I released it just recently, but it's been done for a while. It's been kind of some stuff that happened over the past year. I couldn't really release it, but I finally got to, so it's nice.
Yeah, well, it's worth the wait, I think.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
seriously, I was doing some notes just before I came in here, and I'm like, I was trying to think of my favorite song they had on there, but honestly, I would say all of them are right up there.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, you guys have produced some really good stuff. Even your cinematography and everything you've done for your videos. Like, you do all that locally here? Did you go
Yeah,
somewhere?
they're all done locally. I just kind of switched. Oh, not all of them. One guy comes from Minneapolis. I've kind of hooked up with, but you kind of go with different videographers for different videos to kind of get different feels. Each person kind of shoots different.
Yeah, I would agree.
But it's all, most of them, they're all shot locally too. I direct them. I usually sit down with the camera guy and kind of go over ideas. They kind of help you explain how to shoot the scene that you want, And so it's kind of nice to kind of collaborate with them and get that done. Turns out, get your vision like put out the way you want it to,
Yeah. I've been cranking it out since I've downloaded the album for one. Which, like I said, I've downloaded a fair bit of music, which my wife's probably gonna be pissed about here recently. She sees my iTunes charges. She's probably online somewhere, but gonna get after me on that one. But it's probably honestly my favorite one that I've downloaded here, in the past month. Like, hey, it's because it's a little extra sweet that something so good came out of the area. Which there is a pretty good local music scene here. But like I said, I would have never have guessed that it came out of the Sioux Falls area. Like, it's just, yeah.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, man. Biggest thing is just, I'm trying to be as me as possible,
Which is good. Authenticity is definitely good.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people in music, they get misconstrued with, they care too much about like fame, and they care about like sounding like somebody, they pride in like, hey, I sound like Beyonce, or I sound like Mariah Carey or something. And then people pride them on that, but it's like, there's already one of those out there. Like, why would you want to be somebody else? I don't know. That's just not me.
I would agree with you.
Like the one thing you can be that nobody else can be is yourself. So why not try to figure out what your voice is, And it's kind of nice because then nobody can be you. They can try to, but they can't,
Yeah, without a doubt. Where do you tend to pull your music from, like your lyrics? Because you have some, I don't know, it's pretty poetic. I mean, that's what a lot of music should be and how it comes. But
yeah, I feel like a lot of music nowadays lacks content. And actually, the funny thing is, I've always kind of been into like poetry. I wasn't really, not that I would like write a lot of poems and stuff, but I just like to write words. And I ended up one year in college. I ended up linking up with a guy, and he was like the same as me, but this guy just writes. He's like a writer. I'd say I'm a poet. He's like a writer. This guy, he would write every day. He would write he was write a rap that was like 15 minutes long, And the guy, and we just linked up, and he kind of helped me. We like interchanged with like words, and understood how to like take things out and put certain words in, and how to like make things come across more effectively, how to communicate, because like music isn't really, it's like a form of like communication, but it's like nonverbal, and it's like the highest. I feel like it's like the highest form of nonverbal communication you can have,
Sure.
And then trying to find ways to make it verbal is hard, but there's a lot of words out there if you find the way to use them correctly, and you can kind of like, if you can get that as close as possible to the feeling, it's so effective,
Yeah, without a doubt. No, I certainly agree with you. I have a tremendous respect for really good artists, that do that stuff. Like you said, like, it's very authentic. It's your own voice. And that was one thing I tried queuing it up when I started listening to it. I'm like, well, what does it kind of remind me of? What does it go back and forth to? And I'm like, it sounds like Denham. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I mean, seriously.
That's the best compliment you can get as an artist, I feel like.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it was kind of one thing when I started doing this podcast. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, and like was telling people, and they're kind of watching it and going through, and I'm like, the first episode was clearly me just shitting my pants on camera and just like, trying not to do a radio voice. And one of my friends, actually, got to give the guy a shout out. The poor bastard, his name's Dave. He just lost his wife. Was it 2 years ago to ALS? and started seeing somebody again, doing his thing, and he was out west in Rapid City, and his significant other he's living with ended up passing away suddenly. So it's a pretty tragic, crummy deal. But so shout out to Dave. Sorry, man. But he gave me probably one of the best advice about the show. He's just like, just be you, man. He's like, relax. People like Cole. That's why they tune in to Cole. They want to do their thing. And it's like, just be funny, be sincere, do your deal. And that's what they want to hear. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
important.
oh, all right. So yeah, once I kind of got over that whole like overly like, hi everybody, this is Cole. Welcome to the Coldcast. How you doing today? Today is cold. The cold can eat my scrum.
You guys both kind of got those voices though.
Bruce got a good voice. Yeah, you do. I like hearing it silky smooth. That's what warms up this cold room. Over there blushing. Yeah, man. So, real quick, I got a segue, and did you have a lovely holiday season? I was looking at
that's
the
cool.
cards coming in, and see that Bruce has quite the collection of cards. And my wife forgot to tell me my wife's from Germany, and I have a typical typical German mother-in-law, like pretty brash, whatever. And she's very to the point, and we send all of our family all these nice little cards of my family, and everybody had received it over there. My wife's the only one that's here. Everybody else still overseas.
Okay.
And which is cool. They're all coming. We have a handful of them coming to visit actually this summer, which is super sweet, but also daunting because we don't have that big of a place. So it's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But looking forward to it. Should be fun. Anyway, moving forward, everybody received their card, and my mother-in-law was wondering where the hell her card was. She had not received it, and everybody's still waiting. And my wife and I are pretty decent jokesters, and my mother-in-law can be pretty bossy. And over in Germany, mein Führer is what they called Hitler, my leader. So my mother-in-law is pretty bossy, so I happened to say, one day somebody was yelling, and I said, what is it? And I'm like, well, Spiegelmutter is mother-in-law, so I called her Spiegelführer, which is my leader-in-law. So everybody's like, oh my God, did you just call her that? Fast forward a couple years later, Regina addresses the card to Spiegelführer, which is like Nazi propaganda, basically. So she was the only one that didn't receive her card. She ended up getting a phone call saying, you need to come down to the customs office to receive this package. She has to take time off work, drives downtown, which if you inconvenience her mom with anything, she's already pissed off. Once she gets down there, she asks about this card and like, you know anybody in the States? And she's like, yeah, it's where my daughter and son-in-law live and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, we have this address to Spiegelführer. Can you explain this? And she was instantly pissed. Like, she was pissed when I called her that 2 years ago. So when she saw that and then had to stand in front of these customs officers and explain that her son-in-law is an idiot and came up with this nickname for her a few years ago, and now her daughter's also an idiot and wrote it on the card. It's just a Christmas card, and they said, They made it open up in front of her and like take pictures of it, whatever else, because they flagged it as Nazi propaganda.
Yeah. You should have put a picture in the middle of it that had the little finger thing, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The card.
Like,
Funny.
Either that or the picture of your son with the little mustache on.
oh yeah.
So
My son was born. I took this really cute picture and put a little. He's seriously like 5 minutes old. Everybody left the room, and I like went up and put a little piece of tissue paper that was painted black, put a little mustache on him, and then I sent it out to everybody. I'm like, "Oh, here's Liam Gerhardt. He's born. He looks just like his mom." So,
That's funny.
yeah, it's absolutely terrible. But I don't know. That was definitely the highlight of my week when I got that phone call. My wife's like, "Oh, Spiegelführer was so pissed." But so do you play with moving on now that I'm officially gonna get murdered by my mother-in-law, so do you tour with a full band then, or
Yeah, we play It kind of depends. I mean, if it's cost efficient, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
If it's not, then I just go to DJ.
Sure.
Usually, yeah. Like I got like 7 shows coming up in March, and I'm probably playing like 3 of those with the band. Another one's
Oh, nice.
So
Do you just stick around here in the Midwest, or you try to hit the countryside, or try
I
to
have,
regional?
I have been, yeah, I have been. I'm still pretty new to a lot of this stuff, you know. But we've kind of just been in the area, like Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, you know, kind of like the area. But this year's the year we start getting out a little more.
Sure.
You know, I'm trying to get some lined up, like Salt Lake City out there. Probably go to Denver. Probably go to San Diego. A couple other places.
Nice.
Yeah,
Should be a fun little road trip.
yeah, it'd be cool. We're
Look
gonna
fun
try
to see the video stories out of that, track that.
yeah, we're trying to do. If we do, we're probably gonna just line up somehow so we can do it all within like 2 weeks and try to hit some other places and stuff. You know,
Sure.
book some shows in between.
Yeah, definitely. Pay for some gas and what have you.
It's the
All
grind.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine, but it'd be fun. You got family and stuff like that? Are you rolling single or?
I'm single. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, for sure. I don't even know why I don't have like kids and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, what I mean, like yeah.
Well, it's a fun way to get after it. Otherwise, that grind would be a little tougher, but still kind of fun. You're able to get out and do that stuff. How long you been at it now?
I mean, I don't know. I always say about 3 years. You know, I mean, I started doing like making music beforehand. You know, but until I actually kind of realized like what I was doing and trying to actually like really make it happen was
Yeah, feeling some direction.
Yeah, I'd say about 3 years. I kind of feel like once I moved to Sioux Falls, it was like officially when I started to really, you know, make it happen. Like try to do something, but that was when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always been from around here? Or is,
Yeah, I grew up in Aberdeen, a little small town. Up here,
Yeah.
You know, I moved there when I was a little kid, and I went through like, you know, middle school, high school, all that stuff there, and then I went to Fargo, went to NDSU for college, and I came down here after.
yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of beef for that around here, but
Yeah, NDSU. Yeah. It's all right.
All right.
There's a lot of good stuff going on up there.
yeah, no, that's good. It's a good school.
Yeah. What'd you end up going to school up there for?
Criminal justice.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I started off. I mean, I double majored in music for a little bit, just because. I mean, I wanted to stay do music, you know. And then after a while, I just switched to criminal justice, and I realized that I wanted to make music.
Yeah, it's all right. I just switched out from a few things. I just spent the past 10 years of my life. I started out as a crane operator and an iron worker on the railroad, and then moved on, got into the medical field. And once I got into the medical field, did that for quite some time, kept moving forward and going to school back and forth. I was going to be a radio DJ, and then I thought I was going to be a nurse, and then moving around. And $30-some thousand later, still haven't finished my degree. Now I'm actually working with a software startup, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting it out there and figuring it out and kind of doing a few different things. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's tough. I'm not against my kids like waiting to go to college at all. Like you have it drilled in your head so bad that you're not going to amount to shit unless you go to college. And
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is nowadays.
for sure.
You know? I mean, I
it's
think
just so expensive to figure out what you're doing in there, and then to get done to be like, you know.
I think the most valuable thing I did in college was network.
That's exactly what my partner and boss says. He's like, he went to school for a little while, and he's like, networking was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have the right drive and you know what you're doing, I mean, and you have the right drive and you know how to find out information, you know, versus like just knowing it. I mean, if you know how to find it out, it's just as knowledgeable, you know.
Yeah.
And once you do that, I mean, you can figure out if you have the right hustle, you can do a lot of stuff, especially in this area, you know.
Yeah, without a
This is
doubt.
a good area. I think Forbes put Sioux Falls as like one of the top cities under like 500,000 people to start a business in the country. The economy is really nice here. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, I feel like you can, as long as you do it correctly, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's a pretty good community for that stuff, especially like able to see what the music scene is blown up into, or the artistry, and they're building up downtown, and there's more and more businesses coming in, both corporate and local, and even some of the middle guys. Like there's a decent spread of growth around here, and I feel like the conservative movement is opened up a little bit more, which is good, but they haven't completely opened up the floodgates. So I think it's been a nice balance. So hopefully keep feeling it out and have that decent growth and
Yeah.
giving people a chance to shine. I think more talented people are staying around here too because we are having that opportunity, which is good.
The Sioux Falls music scene is different. I feel like a lot of people's genres, like they kind of stick to the genre. You know, I mean, there's people that like there's like a crowd of people that like metal music, and a crowd that likes hip hop music, and a crowd that likes rock music, and a crowd that likes country music, and like I feel like it's kind of like actually everybody likes country music, but out here but I feel like they don't really intermingle as much, and it kind of takes away from what it could be.
See, that's what my wife and I just went to a show in Minneapolis. It was a Doomtree concert, and it was at the Palace Theater. Super fun hip hop show, awesome. And they had a DJ just to start it out with, and it was just all electronic DJ stuff, kind of get the crowd warmed up. And then next time around, it was like these pretty heavy punk chicks, and then they rolled right into their hip hop, and then they pulled out a few other local artists to like kind of come out and do a few things here and there. But it was a super great mix of show, and that was one of the big things that they preached. They're like, we need more of this. Like, there shouldn't just be a straight up hip hop only show, or like mix it up, give people a little taste for everything, exposure, and appreciate different genres. And that's definitely how I am. I'd say, Bruce, I'd say kind of the same way, that you like to experience a little bit of different music. I like to joke that I'll listen to the girliest of girly music, where you are for sure that I'm having a rough breakup, eating ice cream on my couch, watching rom-coms, to listening to the heaviest of heavy metal ever. And then, sorry, I saw the screen change. I thought we dropped there for a minute.
No, you're good.
And then I end up I'll listen to a ton of hip-hop, rap, and then I'll swing right back on over to some sort of like alt country, and then I just appreciate, like I said, I'm a big fan of music, and I appreciate what you're doing, and like that's the thing I like about your album as well, is that there is a transition from the different moods, and you can tell that you were in different states of mind when you're producing each of those songs.
Yeah. I mean, a good song is a good song no matter what genre, I feel like, that when I started writing that album, I was in a pretty rough, just a rough state of mind, I guess, for like a couple months. And
For which one?
The Diaries of Distress.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a darker album.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets lighter as it finishes, but it's kind of more like, the image of it is like I want to start it off with something that's just kind of just talking. It's like nice, almost like a dream kind of style, and then turn right into a nightmare. So the second song kind of comes in. And then from there, kind of show darkness, and then at the end of it, kind of show like it was like a light in the tunnel kind of thing,
Yeah, that's what music should be. It should be about storytelling, and like an album. That's what I miss about a lot of albums that are put out today, especially like big mass-produced ones. That it's just like, all right, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna hit people with whatever, and there's not really much to say with it. So. Yeah, I like an album that'll take you through a journey a little bit, and where if you don't listen to it on random, it's like, they're still good, but if you listen to it from start to finish, it does take you from those highs and lows. So, I definitely appreciate that. See, Bruce has pulled up your SoundCloud here.
So need be, if you guys want to play anything, let me know.
Man,
Sure.
I got to be honest with you. Let Go was stuck in my head for quite some time.
I like that song.
I started, I should. You wrote it. It's really good.
I'm not saying I don't like some songs I write there, but I like
one for me was really good as well. But this Bruce gonna play a little bit of Let Go here, if anybody out there. But
this one's got another Sioux Falls artist named Dino Babic on this song. He's really talented. Just check him out. Yeah, you'd like him.
Bruce playing some more. That Let Go remix was pretty good too.
Oh, with K Theory?
Yeah.
There's some of my guys out of Salt Lake City.
Nice.
I link up with there's some DJs out there. We should check them out. They're good. Good guys.
Now Bruce putting it out.
As darkness falls, I'm dancing in the morning. See the smoke roll off, they vanish into the room. That's a sea I've crossed. This canvas was made for two.
really impossible not to want to tap your foot or nod your head when you're listening to this beat.
Yeah, actually, the beat was made from a local producer too. Like that song is 100% Sioux Falls right there. His name is Miles Ching. When he made it, he's only 18 years old.
Seriously?
Yeah.
There's some pretty good folks around here doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's a few of them. If you dig through, if you dig through it a little bit, you can find a few in there that actually are doing a good job and like care about making good music. I feel like a lot of people around here that make music are too focused on just trying to be popular in their own town or something, because a lot of times I don't think they're making it. The music it comes out too, you know what I mean? Like if you're an artist, the way you portray yourself or what you're going for comes out through your art over time. You can't hide from that.
Yeah.
So
you just gotta. It's really tough because I think in today's social media world, you get that facade that you just gotta hammer, put out content, not worry about it, and why isn't this happening? And it's tough to be patient, which it comes with a little bit of entitlement, but you do just have to, like you said, you got to just put in the grind, and I think that's really important for pretty much anything you do. Like everything takes work.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Bruce, you've been at this now for years, coaching and doing MMA and everything along.
17 short years.
17 short years.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody coming around here and they're like, oh, you just opened up this gym? It's doing pretty good. And you're like, yeah, 17 years I've been at this, putting this together. And, it's still, you have a lot of work that you want to do to it. And
Oh, shit. I still feel like I'm young in this game. So
you should.
Yeah.
Because you are young and handsome and driven.
Well, like, let me ask this, Bruce. It's kind of like this. Like, as a fighter, when you reach a certain level, like, everybody is as talented or maybe if not more talented than the next individual, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, what separates you from them?
For me, it seems like it's always just the little things, the small changes that that you guys are making and or fighters are making, and then also the small ways that either your fans or people can connect with you, right? Trying to be the best version of you, so people can identify with you compared to trying to be something that the mass audience would want. Trying to find a small niche of people that I think would identify with you and become, hardcore fans is because of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like in music, when you reach a certain level, every other person out there is just as good as you are. You know what I mean? Or if not better. So it's like, what can make you different than them? And that's like how creative you can be, and it's also how hard you work. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that separates you from other ones. And the thing about living like in like Sioux Falls area is like it's a small pond, and so there's a couple big fish in it, and that's about it. You know what I mean? And people want to get there, but they don't want to like put that work in. They think that just because they're talented, and there's not many people around here that are talented, that they can just walk up to the front and just be good. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the ideology they got thinking behind their music. Like, okay, well, I'm just talented, so everybody should give me respect and they should put me on the biggest shows and they should do stuff like that.
Well, I think it's also, again, comes with that entitlement where they were brave enough to go for it, where I think there is a lot of talent around here, but a lot of people are really afraid to put themselves out there in front of somebody else to do something different because, like you said, it's a little pond, so a lot of people are going to point fingers and be like, "What? Who the hell does this guy think he is? Like, what is he doing out there? Like, what makes him?" I know Cole. He went to school out in freaking Baltic. He doesn't know anything. He grew up in a cornfield. What's he doing online trying to do his thing? So, but it's just kind of one of those things. Like, once you kind of put it aside and be like, "It's okay." I'm not going to be for everybody. People are going to have their opinions, but hell, I might reach somebody out there that wants to do it. And like I said, I'm doing this for me. I'm not making any money on this, and I just want to meet some people. And
well, I think the cool thing too is like I noticed that I feel that I've been getting a lot of like feedback from the album. It's been positive and stuff too, but I've also been getting some like feedback from other artists that are like motivating them to put out more music and stuff too, which is cool. Obviously, like I want my stuff to be as good as possible and stuff, but also I want to like raise the bar a little bit so everybody can just kind of keep trying to raise themselves up.
Yeah.
And then cause there's a lot of talent out here, man, there's a lot of talent out here, but people need to realize how to be professional about it. But I think they just need to see it get done. Because I think the last time it's been done was like 15 years ago with like Soul Crate or Spill Canvas or one of those groups that came out of South Dakota that actually got out there. But most people don't see that, So
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to do it, I guess so.
Yeah, you got to put yourself out there for sure.
I got 2 questions for you. So, as you were saying before, being from the Midwest, one thing that I get all the time is, okay, you're from the Midwest. Anytime you go out to either a coast or anywhere else, it's kind of the idea that, you shouldn't be there because you're from the Midwest. You don't understand things. I think that's probably true in the music area, and I think it's probably I know for sure it's true in the fight area. So, talk to me a little bit about that. Is that something that you've gotten as well?
Yeah, the thing about, the biggest difference is when you go out to like the coast that people are like, everybody's grinding, but it's almost like the grind has been beat down to where it's like almost like a run down, So, there's a lot of ways that people are just kind of out there trying to be creative, trying to hustle, which is kind of cool, but it's hard to get into because it's just flooded. The market's just flooded, right? Mm-hmm. Out here, it's not. And there's a decent amount of people, but it's almost like it's like a big small town. Like somebody can come here and be like, "Oh, I'm from so and so small town." Like, "Oh, I know so and so." Like, "Oh, I know him," and all of a sudden, like you can just that's just a small the Midwestern area, So out here, if you do it correctly and if you make proper music and if you just like in network properly, I guess you can grow to an extent. Like there's bands around here. Look at like the Johnny Holmes band, for example. All they do is play other people's music, right? Mm-hmm. But they still travel around in like a 5-state area. They travel outside of that now, but before like a 5-state area, and they were full-time musicians. And that's because a small town, word gets around out here. It does. So if you present yourself properly and if you make good stuff, you can at least make a career out of it. Like always, like I just want to do music for a living. I just want to make music. I want to travel around and make music with other musicians from other areas, so I can get new ideas that aren't what I'm accustomed to. You know what I mean? Because there's only so many ideas that come out of this area. You got to go to other parts of the world to get different musical influences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like because music's like a language, and the more that you know about it, the more you know how to speak it, and so I feel like I'm like learning a language, but I'm so basic at it. I want to be fluent as possible, you know what I mean? So I want to go places where a time signature feels weird and makes me feel like I don't even know what the hell's going on, to understand it, to put what I've learned in reality, you know what I mean, kind of thing, So, but to do that, like you don't need to be famous, and these people are trying to be famous. Like you can do it in a 4 or 5 state area and make a living and just live a life of music. That's what I'm trying to do, So and I think that as long as I keep that focus as my goal, it itself, if I do it properly, it might take me somewhere farther. You know what I mean? It might be something that goes big. So I feel like anything that's genuine like that, a lot of people can appreciate. You know what I mean? So if it does go farther and something happens where all of a sudden, boom, it gets exposure or it doesn't, that's cool. But as long as I'm full-time music, like for at least the majority of my life, then that's it. What else do you need,
So the second question I had, and I get this a lot, everybody gets excited about the idea of being an entrepreneur or, being on the grind 24/7, blah, blah, blah. One thing I found is, having that 9-to-5 job is fun, but then you can put it away. When you seem to do your own job or you work for yourself, you're, like you said, an artist or fighter, whatever. The big thing that's tough for me is that it seems like when you love something that much, that when somebody else craps on it, it's tough, And so, how do you deal with that? As far as quote unquote like haters or just people that aren't appreciative of your body of work.
I feel like the best revenge is success.
For sure.
Success and trying to look good while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing that make them just like really, they hate. But don't get me wrong. Like I still work, so I'm not a full-time musician yet, and like a lot of people in this area get misconstrued. They're like, damn, aren't you doing your music thing full-time? Because they haven't seen not many people have any success doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And so all you can do is just do you, stick yourself and work as hard as you can, try to get your, like keep grinding it out. But like I think the people that have followed me, have seen, they see how it slowly progresses. There was a guy, a rapper from a group called Chitty Bang. I don't know if they ever heard of him. They had a song called Opposite Adults. It was like bigger before. And I remember listening to one of his songs. He said, "You can get notoriety and still ride the train." You know, but you can. Like, people don't pay for music anymore. You know, you can rip it off wherever you want to. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, they used to have to, but nowadays they can rip it off. So you don't get paid for that. Like, you get paid. You are your brand, so you get paid for shows, because like when you're there, that's the highest form of your brand that can be presented to your clientele, basically. You know what I mean? Because that's what they pay to see. You know, so but it's hard to be everywhere because you have, you know, whatever life gets involved. You know what I mean? Like, doing what you love is the easy part, but life is what is hard as hell.
Yeah.
Because you never know what the hell is going to happen. You know what I mean? It still sets you back. So I mean, how you handle that, you know? So like, I know people always talk about, yeah, I'm on the grind. I'm always working 24/7. La la la. It's like, that may be true, but like, you know, no, anybody that says that isn't working that hard, you know. And just because you're working hard doesn't mean you're working smart. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're working that many hours every day, like, you're not doing it right, you know. Like, obviously, and if you're doing it right, you'll realize there's points in time where you need to work that hard to get something accomplished. Other times you need rest and reflection and other stuff like that. That's important, you know. So, I mean, all you can do is just do you, work as hard as possible. When they hate, I mean, I guess now they don't really hate as much. They just don't talk to me, you know, kind of thing, which is cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice. Like, I used to be in this, when you first start as a local artist, you're trying to get in with whoever and get anybody listening to music, you know. I came down here, I recorded in this dude's closet, you know, and I just had this little, actually I can't get in a closet because a lot of studios, you'd be surprised with closets. But it's a crappy little studio, and make these crappy little albums. I bought a bunch of them and just gave them out for free and hustled my own show. I would just go to bars and talk to people and be like, hey, I'm Denham. I try to make music. I got something going on this week or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I was talking about it to try to buy a ticket, $5 for a ticket to show up, you know? Yeah. Something to do. Like, you just grind it out and make it happen, you know? I don't know.
No, you good.
That was good music in the background. Like,
that was good. Well, to like hammer on that, folks, I want you to go back that past like 5 or 6 minutes, like seriously, because I got really excited. I had a hard time like holding my own excitement for you, because I was like, this is gold. Not just for good podcasting content, but because I can authentically see that you meant what you're saying. The wheels are spinning. You were lost in the moment, just saying everything that you meant, and everything was definitely super true, and like, you are passionate about what you want to do. And when I want to get your opinion on when you felt like when you stopped caring so much what other people were possibly thinking about you and possibly getting that exposure, and started just concentrating on like, you know what, I don't care, I'm just going to move forward and let people think what they're going to think as they go. I'm just going to do what I can and figure it out as I go. Did you find that your success started following after that, once you stopped chasing it?
Definitely. You start chasing it, you get caught in a game, and it like drives you insane.
It's too many distractions.
Oh yeah, like I got caught. I mean, that's the one thing, especially starting around like, you know, here, caught in this little local scene, and it's like I said, people are doing it just to be like famous. And like, you're not chasing anything. You're not chasing a goal. You're chasing like a fake feeling. You know what I mean? A feeling of just like I don't know what you're chasing. You know. And as soon as I stopped doing that, like I was like, I just realized like, I'm just gonna make music. You know what I mean? Like, I see him keep doing what I'm doing. I'll try to keep progressing. And I had before, like, I recorded the first album that wasn't that good. I'm not saying that wasn't that good, but the quality, like recording, quality wise, I mean, it wasn't like super amazing, because we're just doing what we could, you know. I just had a buddy, he's like, hey, well, come over, we'll just record it on the laptop, you know, kind of thing, you know.
It's kind of the thing though, you just got to jump into it and see what the hell happens.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad. I wasn't like really bad, you know. A dude he can throw down for just having he's like for basic stuff, but it was what it was, and I had something at least to give out, you know. It was better than not having a CD to hand to somebody, you know. Yeah. And then
I'm an artist. Well, what do you do? Well, I'm not good enough to put it out yet.
Yeah, right. And then so I did another album, and they got a little better, like a little better production and stuff too on it. And then I knew I had access to a professional album at that point, a professional studio at that time. But I was like, I don't think I'm ready for it yet, because I don't know how to properly like train myself to go into the studio first before I go there. So I did another one at this studio just to make sure, and also it was like allowing me to show progression as I'm going through when I'm releasing projects, you know. So the funny thing is that this project I just released was like my first professional recorded project, you know, and so but when I went into it, I had my songs done. I practiced them. The point I memorized them. You know, whatever I come in, like most people that write a song, they go right to the studio. You know, like I sit there and I practice them out, make sure I have it memorized, make sure I have it good. So I go in there. I'm not focusing on making sure I'm saying the right things. I'm focused on other ways to make it sound more creative and different. You know.
Yeah.
And then after that, I can produce a product that's like that's just more than than the original thought, you know. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess someone was going with that, but
No, I feel you. Hey, Jimmy, I see that you joined there and commented, but I do agree. You do have to. Most successful people are outside their comfort zone, man. But I think that's really important for anything. If you are going to grow, it's just like muscle growth or anything like that. You know, if you train or go too hard, you're going to burn yourself out or get hurt. If you don't go hard enough, you're going to stay sedentary. But if you just push yourself, stretch yourself enough, you're definitely going to end up growing a little bit more.
well, when you step outside your comfort zone, it's how you find out who you really are.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, damn, I really like. That's when I realized, like, damn, I don't know shit. Like, I thought I knew. You know, I had this little. I thought I knew. I was like, you know, life smacks you in the face every day. You know, if you don't look out for it or prepare yourself. You know. And so then as soon as I stopped caring what everybody else thought and I started grinding it out, then all of a sudden, you know, I was like, hey, I'm going to put out some good stuff. You know, and if I put out some good stuff, like, people are going to appreciate it. Yeah. And if they don't appreciate it, then I don't care about them. Like, I mean, like, not everybody in the world is going to ever like your music. Music is the most subjective thing out there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, one of those two. So, I mean, so I'm just trying to find the people that do care and just trying to get to as many of those people as possible, because eventually if I get to as many as those, then I can have a life about it. You know what I mean? Like, yep. And it's cool. I mean, some people will just, I don't know, especially in a small area though, they're quick to, they want it to be bad, just like in this kind, you know? And then if you show them something good, and they're like, oh crap, like I didn't,
yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually really good, like dang, you know? And stuff. So, I mean, I want people to see that even from a small town area, like there's still can be something cool to come out, something great to come out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't have to be born or come out of a certain area to create something awesome. And like you said, you don't even have to do it professionally as your full-time job. Just get out there and do something, learn something different. And I think, you know, for me, that's what was really hard for me leaving the medical field, and ended up, and not to say I was like this genius medical guy, but I ended up taking an opportunity. You're talking about being an entrepreneur and grinding, but I ended up going with a friend of mine. He was a couple of years older than me, but he is always like, that dude is always on the grind. He'll never say that he's on the grind, because like you said, he's too busy. He's that champion. Yeah. He's like, he's not driven. He's just a dude that he doesn't give a shit. He's just moving forward at 1,000 miles. He's a freight train, but you can either hop on or get off, but that train's not stopping unless he's ready to stop. And that was always something that, you know, when I came on with him, it was really tough for me to leave that, but it was exciting for me to be able to learn something new and just see his leadership style and everything you're doing. And I thought I knew a little bit about like some of the stuff that I'm in now in the field, but then you get to that point where you start to learn more. And then when you learn more, you're like, oh, I'm starting to learn quite a bit. And then after that, you're like, hey, I've learned quite a bit, and I've learned enough to know I don't know shit.
Yeah.
And then that's when I say you get to that novice point, and where you're like,
absolutely,
all right, I know enough to know I don't know enough. And that's when you keep pushing yourself a little bit more and more and more.
I think the most fulfilling moment I've had in music so far was last year I released a video, the Shut Up video. And when I did, I feel like people finally at least respected the fact that I make music, you know? Yeah. Before they didn't, they always, you know, not everybody quite did, you know? But I think after that, they're like, wow, dude, like, damn, that's really good. Like, dang, man, like, you should really keep trying to do this. You know? And I was like, that was a good feeling.
I think, like, you're a good storyteller. Like, you can tell that right offhand, especially like the way you deliver your stuff. And like I said, your albums like tells a really, really good story straight through. But your videos, you can definitely tell that you work really closely with whoever's shooting it and producing it. Like Shut Up, you got the feeling. Like, that's one of my favorite things about music, is that when I do listen to a song, it brings me to a place where I'm like, this is where he's feeling. I could tell that. And like you said, you were kind of in a rough place, but it came back around and different things. And yeah, you didn't rush the project. It definitely showed, and it, I don't know.
People like they get a video done, and then like as soon as they get it, I'm dropping it tomorrow. You know,
Yep.
and so too, I like to sit and plan it out. You know,
Yep.
and a little bit before I do it. But that video is cool because I shot that one with Jeffrey Zoss. He works at Pinnacle. If you guys know him or not, if you don't, check out his work. He's a beast. But it was cool. I kind of sat down and explained to him kind of how I wanted to do it. You know, and the longest thing is I wish I would have bought black contacts instead of just doing. We did it digitally for the black guys in that one, and but we shot it. He kind of came up with cool ideas. He's like, okay, since it's like all about talking to yourself, he's like, how about we transition scenes? Like I'll just like go into your head, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff too, you know. And like I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's kind of like more like, you know, that's kind of like what I'm trying to get across. Cause I explained to him how I felt about it, you know. I couldn't put it in video terminology as well, you know. But after doing it, working with video guys a lot more, now I'm starting to understand a lot more about angles and how things work, so I can plan them out properly before I even go there.
Sure.
To make it easier for them too, you know what I mean? Because they're just working, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
well,
Like,
it's part of the journey too, and then to have chemistry to be able to work with somebody like that's really good. I mean, just chemistry is huge. Now, like, it's like in any workplace or any sort of relationship type thing, but definitely when you to your skill set, you can take two talented people, but if they have zero chemistry, it ain't gonna work. Don't
Yeah.
matter. I'm sure Bruce has worked with some people that have been super awesome. You know, he's a good coach, but you know the chemistry may not just be there all the time. And then sometimes you got somebody who's just kind of whatever. And as long as you can complement each other, it's like a marriage.
yeah.
Oh, seriously, like
I mean, it kind of
you're gonna have good days and bad days, but if you can take two of the most beautiful people on the planet, mash them together, it doesn't mean it's gonna work. You know?
yeah. Well, it kind of depends on who you're working with too, because like if you guys know Jeffrey's not cheap. It's not cheap. I mean, it's like quality work, you know. So I mean, you got to pay for it, you know. But some like videographers like charge by the hour, you know. They might do that. So like, I mean, like I had to get all my scenes set up, ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. We shot the video in 3 hours.
Yeah, but that also
You know?
teaches you to get your shit together and do what you want,
Yeah,
opposed to being
exactly.
like, I don't know. I guess we were sitting around doing this. All of a sudden, 4 days go by, and you got a minute and a half worth of content, and
Right.
about 40 hours of B-roll.
Oh, we clicked right away though. I mean, I think he saw how serious I was and I had everything ready. He's like, "Cool, let's do it." And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
boom, 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 came back done, and it was cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Especially it goes together that well. Did you end up questioning yourself a little bit when you're all done, and you're like, I almost went too fast. Like, we sure we got it?
I just wish I would. I'm not really. There's stuff later on. I realized that, every time is a learning experience. I mean,
Yeah.
Every single time is a learning experience. So I'm just excited in the future when I start getting like a budget for videos to see what I can do with it. You know, like if there's a group called OK Go.
Yep.
Have you ever seen the videos?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so insane. Like if you get the right budget and you can do some crazy things like that, that's when the music gets fun because you can just make like full.
Get super creative and
Yeah.
get the tools that you need and want. Yeah.
What's crazy though too is like the OK Go stuff always looks like it's actually fairly low, but like they do crazy stuff, but it's never like anything like huge, like cinematically, if you will.
Yeah, except for the Morton Salt one. That's probably the one that's probably. But they're cool. That's what it is. Like when I start writing a song, I'm not only thinking about the song, but I'm already thinking about the video. You know. Mm-hmm. And then once it's done, I'm like, oh yeah, I should do the video like this. I should do like that. I'm already getting ideas. You know what I mean? And then like, so I'm like planning this whole project out before I even like record the song or anything. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's all done. And that way, if you just focus on just the song, I feel like you're only cutting so far. You know, if you focus on like on the video and everything too, and you just focus on doing it well, you're already gonna have the song done and good, and still be working on something else. You know what I mean? Like towards the video, and it helps you like keep. I don't know if this makes sense. Where I'm going with it, but it helps you keep those steps that happen beforehand proper because you're focusing on ones that are farther. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got your goal in the end, but you're also putting together your plan from there on out. I think it's really important too to not be so rigid in that plan. To, like you said, figure it out as you go. If you get too rigid, you crack and you break. You gotta bend a little bit, and you end up with something a little bit different. But
like if you build two-story houses all the time, and then all of a sudden you have to build a skyscraper, are you gonna know how to do it if you haven't built a skyscraper before? You know what I mean?
I feel like that's something that's really changed in like the last 20 years. I mean, 20 years ago, it was all about, album sales, not so much live stuff. You're going to make all your money from album sales, it seemed like. And then now with, what you were saying before, like, okay, now I have to reinvent what I am as an artist or entertainer, because the game's completely changed now. Like you said, everybody can download your stuff, everybody can steal it. So now you're having to do that. Have you seen some of the other avenues that you have to take because of that kind of thing? Like you said, now you have to focus almost more or as much on your videos and things like that.
Well, the crazy thing about the music industry is that it's super intricate. There's no right way to get in. It's all about not only like how you know people, not who you know, but it's like how you know them too as well. And so there isn't really like an avenue. Like people nowadays though, the music industry nowadays, they're all worried about as many one-hit wonders as possible. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. They're like, okay, what we're gonna do is pull some publicity stunt and then drop the single. Or I'm gonna find some the Cash Me Outside girl. All of a sudden, she's booming off the internet. Let's make a rap song. So everybody can just keep hating on her. But still, boom. But I'm serious though. She's charting on Billboard. She was like for a second, her song was like top 10 on Billboard.
What?
Her first song ever. Because that's the way the industry is. And the thing is too is they're ripping these people off because they're like telling all these young kids like, hey, I'll make you famous. Yeah. Like there's a rapper called Lil Uzi Vert. His song is called Push Me to the Edge, All My Friends Are Dead, whatever that song is, XO Tour Life. Over 1.3 billion views across all platforms, right? 1.3 billion views. He did worldwide tours. You know how much money he made that year off that? $1 million.
Yowza.
Almost $1 million, like $900,000. Like that is insane. That's just stupid. They're finding all these kids that are just dumb. But a lot of it, they're probably within like the music industry. They're probably somebody's kid they know, or they know. That's most time. Those kids aren't kids that have been grinding for a long time and blew up. You know what I mean, kind of thing. But but nowadays, man, you just gotta. People don't. I don't know. Back in the day, they would get an artist and a band, and they'd be like, okay, record 5 albums, and 2 of these are gonna be bomb. We know it because we can tell by just how artistic you are. But those who actually make real music like that, they shine through eventually. Look at like Kendrick Lamar, for example, right? Kendrick Lamar, like he was big a couple years ago. He had dropped songs and kind of was quiet for a little while, and then made a new album. But every time he has a new album, he's just back up. Boom, there's Kendrick Lamar, and everybody, also all the kids like him now again. They didn't even know who he was before. All the adults are still raving about him again. Because if you make solid stuff, true artists are timeless. That music is timeless. You know what I mean? So all these one-hit wonders are cool and stuff too, but these guys don't know how to make art. You know what I mean? They don't know, like, I can't go to Lil Uzi Vert and be like, yo, Lil Uzi Vert, play me a C7 chord. You know what I mean? Like, Like, he's going to be like, he wouldn't know. He'd be like, yo, trap, or something, you know what I mean? Just like, but that's the problem. So it's harder for real artists to come through, but when a real artist comes through, when you get to a certain extent, you get known, then labels, like, they do whatever they can to get you, you know what I mean? Because they want that, because they know that that's more valuable in the long run. Yeah. And it's a guaranteed profit, but that's when you can kind of have it by the balls a little bit, you know what I mean? Kind of. So that's why I give a shout out to those independent artists like Kendrick and like Schoolboy Q and like even like Macklemore too. Was another person independent that was big too. Like that stuff's cool. Cause as long as you handle your distribution and you can but you need a lot of money to do that. You need a lot of financial backing. You need stuff, so.
See, that's what I love about Doomtree, and that's how they started out. That, they started as a collective effort or a group, and they just started doing the thing, started sending out their own albums, and then they complemented each other, and then it came a record label of their own, sort of, and then they ended up, just started distributing their own stuff and working together, and they are a team, and they have their own culture and following, and they're all very, very different. They all have different styles, but they come together with just such sweet chemistry.
Yeah, and that's
why I love them.
That's kind of crazy. It's cool that it can work like that, because like a lot of times, if you make a team of artists, it usually is not. It usually is like kind of what's the word I'm looking for, counterproductive, because all these artists are working towards independent goals. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like a lot of times, even like around here, people are trying to almost like collaborate with other artists and work all together because they want to hit each other's following, right? But it's like all these artists are also like working upon for their own goals, and you're not really going anywhere, So like I focused on building a team of different stuff, I have a photographer, a videographer, I'm working with a booking agent, like I also have a book, I'm working with like, we have a guy helps me out with like online stuff, like social media or like developing websites and stuff like that, things too, like people that can help you make a product, you know what I mean? Like, yes, this is your product, so it's like, you need those parts to make it work. If you're gonna open up a burger shop, you know what I mean? You don't want to open up a burger shop and then have like everybody trying to sell, independent dealers come in trying to sell tacos or something. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I don't know how they. What kind of, you get what I'm trying to say though. But like, I mean, so like, you can't have a bunch of artists because you only need one artist for that. You know? And people, and the thing is, always got to get past this people's thing. Like, people worry so much about fame. It's crazy how people are about that. And so like, they like, if they're not working toward it, if they don't understand how this product, you push it, it's going to grow, and this is the way it works, and they don't embrace that, and they worry about just who's going to be cool and who's going to, you know what I mean? Like, then you don't want those, I gotta understand, like, I mean, even though, like, I am the product, same thing is like, but it's my product, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, the guys I'm working with understand that, like, I'm making the calls. This is my product. I've made this out of nothing, you know what I mean? Like, but they know what they do is necessary, and what they do, I've put my faith in them to have them help produce the image that I want to create of myself. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a pretty rewarding thing to do. I don't know, but
yeah, it's a good relationship to have. So, the way we were kind of thinking about closing this out is, we're gonna play out one of your songs. Which one's your favorite one off this album? Would you say?
Oh man, honestly, I think my favorite one, personally, off the album, is, I don't know why, but I think it's probably Menage a Trois.
Yeah, that one kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it took a hot minute to grow on me, but as I started getting into it more and listening to it, like at first, and then after we started going, I'm like, all right, and then.
And that's the most common thing I've gotten for that song. Honestly, a lot of people, they said, like, the first time I listened to it, I don't really like it. They said I wasn't sure about it. And then after I listened to it, like a second or third time, then all of a sudden, like, it really grows on you. But that song is really, really eccentric. That song, like, the ideology behind it, having the Menage a Trois, people get misconstrued. It's not about me having a threesome.
Yeah.
It's not, actually. It's about me being with one girl who's two different people.
That's exactly what I was talking about this morning. Like, I was sitting there thinking about it, and, I was somewhat talking to myself in the car, and it's terrible, but, I know it's not, like, super huge music to, like, talk about with my 8-year-old daughter, but she's in the car, and, like, I just kind of whatever. I don't really censor my kids too much. Like, we talk about, we have conversations about, and, of course, I limit some things. Like, not everything's off. Because, trust me, those who know me, I can go off the wall about some pretty hilarious and really inappropriate things. Bruce had to tell me to shut it down a couple times. But we, as I was listening to Menage a Trois and like talking to my daughter, I'm like, hey, you got any questions you want me to ask this guy? And like, I'm having on the show. She's always trying. She's 8. She's like the most grown up 8-year-old. But she asked about like, and then she's like, I don't know about this song. I like the other song better because I feel like it goes there. I'm like, yeah, but it's about the lyrics too. And I said, and it builds into it. Yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, one day you'll get it figured out. And I told her, I'm like, this is about like this guy not having 2 girlfriends. I said, it's about one girl that acts differently. And she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, see, think about that. And she's just like, oh.
And it changes it up.
Bruce has got it pulled up here. And yeah, it's a pretty solid song. Like I said, it took a hot minute for it to grow on me, but.
If you're gonna play on to close it out, though, I think you should play one for me. That's cool. One for me. And let them check that. Listen to the album a little bit. They can figure it out. Listen to that one and figure that one out.
That's pretty damn good. So while we're listening to this out, I do want to thank you again for showing up, man. Like I said, we were just kind of put together, and Tanner and I were chit chatting, Corey, and everybody's like, "Yo, you got to get Denham on," and they all had super high praise for you. I'd say they're friends of yours, but I would definitely say they are fans. Like, they legit want you to do well, and they're excited for you, and that's exactly how I feel as well.
Shout out Coast to Coast Fitness.
Yeah, for sure, man. Pretty good group of kids out there. So
sure. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Cafe Roasteries for providing this delicious coffee for us this morning. And thanks again, Bruce.
Working hard for that sponsorship over there.
We're gonna get it. But hey, Bruce, thanks a lot for everything. You guys stay warm out there. Take care of yourselves, and make sure you check out Denham Music. Seriously, it's really good stuff. Like, I absolutely mean it. Like, for sure.
Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. You can check it all out. Denham-music.com.
Very, very good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
One day, you might be the one for me. 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 Let me describe to you a regular day where everybody live in their regular way. The same regular job up at the regular place. You drive a regular car at the regular rate. You take a regular girl up on a regular date. She's just a regular face who want a regular fake. You got regular problems playing regular games. Another regular song with a regular place. Another regular venue feeding regular hate. Because for regular hate rapping was regular safe. Another regular clap up on a regular stage. So I don't wanna be regular cause what's regular fades. She said being my girl is just too much pressure. Think cause I ain't rich that she can do much better. Little does she know I'm getting to this chapter. Got one in the chamber, got her looking down the barrel like one day. You might be the one for me.